Councilmember, District 1, Miguel Aguirre.
Here.
District 2, Alderman Richard Hughes.
Here.
District 3, Alderman David Emery. District 4, Alderman Marco Rodriguez.
Here.
District 5, Alderman Matthew Martinez.
Here.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, if you can please stand, we'll go ahead and do our pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. All right. I know that we have a few things on our agenda. We're going to go ahead and take care of each one individually, depending on what it is that we need to talk about. But the first area that we're going to go ahead and do is item number 4, and this is citizens to be heard. This is not the public hearing items or the action items. This is a public hearing. So this is the opportunity for citizens, visitors, and guests to address the city council on any issue or any item of the agenda in compliance with LGC section 551.007. City council may not discuss any presented issue, nor may take any action on any issue at this time. Citizens to be heard are limited to 3 minutes each. So if it's anything with a public hearing or the action items, please wait on that. If it's something that is not on the agenda and you want to go ahead and speak on those, this would be the opportunity for you to come forward. Zach, did we have anybody sign up for the? Everything is okay? Okay, got it. I'll still go ahead and ask. On that. That would be any citizens to be heard on any item, going once, going twice. Okay. Yes, sir. This is, right now, we're doing just general hearing. If there's anything to be said, it's nothing on the agenda. Okay? So if you're here to speak on an agenda item, we will call those open up with the public hearing and then the action item. Okay, Mr. Harris? Only if it's going to be on the agenda. If you're here to speak about the mobile home, you're going to have a chance to go ahead and do that. You need to make sure that you sign up on the list. Perfect. Then we will call you up, sir. Okay. All right. If we do not have any comments, Paula, if you can go ahead and annotate no comments on that area. All right, let's go ahead and move on to number 5. This is the consent agenda. This is considered the approval of the minutes. And we have a few in there to take care of. Paula, thank you for taking care of this. The first one that we have is July the 11th, 2024. Do you have anything on that one?
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion, but I'd like to go ahead and do all the meeting minutes in one motion, if that's okay.
Okay, everyone, can you do that?
I'd like to make a motion for the approval of consent agendas for July the 11th, 2024, August 8th, 2024, September the 23rd, 2024, October the 15th, 2024, and October the 28th, 2024.
Okay, got a motion on the floor for us to go ahead and take all the minutes together. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, got a second? Okay, discussion. Nothing at all?
Nope.
All right, that's awesome. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to B, and this is consideration of approval of the payment of the bills.
Mayor, I'd like to start by making a motion to approve the payment of the bills as presented.
Got a motion on the floor. Do I have a second? Second. Second? Okay, Matt, thank you so much for that. Discussion. Any discussion on bills? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All yeas, motion carries forward. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to item number 6, a public hearing. So we're going to go ahead and open it up. Paola, if you can please annotate that we're opening the public hearing at 6:35. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and take a look at A, the first one. Conduct a public hearing concerning ordinance number 24XX, an ordinance of the city of Lytle, Texas, amending section 46-1, definitions of Article 1 in general, chapter 46, zonings, the code of ordinances, and by adding a definition for data center and amending section 46-1 355 user regulations of Division 8 Industrial District, 1 Industrial District of Article 5, Districts and District Regulations of Chapter 46 Zoning of the Code of Ordinances by adding data center as an allowable use within an industrial zoning district. Just a reminder that if we do have any speakers on this, you are limited to 3 minutes. Zach, do we have anybody signed up for that? This is for item A. Item A. Do you have anything on item A on there? This is with making a change to our zoning ordinances, the industrial portion of it with the data center. Going once, going twice.
Do we have questions?
Yeah.
Like, what do you?
No, this is the opportunity to speak on that. This is not a dialogue, this is just a public hearing. And then even in the next one, there's no questions. It's basically you get 3 minutes to go ahead and bring your concerns back to the council. If we don't have anything, Paula, if you can go ahead and put on that one. We had no comments on that. And let's go ahead and move on to B. And this is conduct a public hearing concerning a final plat of Lytle MHC Mobile Park, Phase 1 and 2, a plot containing 29.804 acres, 16.896 acres, being a portion of that of 21.237 acres, tract recorded in volume 811, page 794 of the deeds of records of Atascosa County, Texas, and 12.908 acres, being all of called 12.934 acres, recorded in volume 699, page 170 of the deed records of Atascosa County, Texas, and the J.B. Goldman's survey number 512 and inclusive of a 0.041 of an acre right-of-way dedication. Okay, so with that in mind, I think I'm looking at all these, and this is for the public hearing, and you'll have 3 minutes. So the first one that is signed up is Mr. Harris. Come on up, sir.
I think he was using the time from the previous one.
Can you know the time?
6:35.
From this public hearing.
Oh, this public hearing, it would be 6:38.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
My name is George Harris. I've been a resident of Lytle since 1948, and I've developed different businesses, come and go. But first thing I want to do is commend you. I didn't know that you had a process that I could do this by video, because you can see I can't get around very good. So what applies to you guys as councilmen, does that apply to the citizen?
No. No, sir, this is a public hearing.
So the video conference attendance would be for council members, staff, or somebody presenting.
I'm sorry?
The video conference attendance option is for a council member, staff, or some consultant for attending the meeting that is presenting something. It's not for the general public. We don't have a capacity.
What about the ADA requirement? You're not required to abide by the ADA rule?
So let me go ahead and remind, sir, you are here now. You're here now. We can address that separately because of the time limit. So I want to make sure that you get your 3 minutes, because I have to time you because of everybody else that is speaking. So you're down to 2 minutes and 20 seconds, okay? So go ahead and speak, sir.
Okay, I'm here to address, the only thing I'm here to address for is the property that's in my name that you have on this thing. First thing is, I request all of you to use a roll call vote whenever you vote on anything of mine. Not who all is here. No, that doesn't follow through. It doesn't get put in the minutes. And I need to know who you are. Do you represent my zone? Who does represent Zone 2? You do? Okay. I'm surprised that whenever this bully pulpit thing came up, that I wasn't involved in it, even though it was my property. What you guys doing? We're all citizens, taxpayers, and hopefully do the right thing whenever we can. But I know watching your video from your last meeting, I know there was some erroneous stuff said by one of the people in the audience, that they were the only ones joining this property. Well, actually, there's 4 people joining this property, and I think one of them is here. 2 of them are here tonight. I don't. May they all be here, but anyhow, I don't know. I'd ask that you do that, and yeah, I have 4 items. One was a request to Open Records Act on November the 7th, and I still have not received it. And I think the rules say you got 10 days to get me the information. I haven't gotten it yet. I don't want to be difficult, but I also don't want to be run over.
Yes, sir. You have 30 seconds left, sir.
Well, all right. I would like to address all of you, including you, Mayor, Your Honor, whatever you call yourself. That's this city council is for everybody, not just you.
That's your 3 minutes, sir.
Okay. Well, anyhow,
Thank you, sir. I appreciate the time. Thank you. Our next person that we actually have is Daniel Medina.
I'm not through, sir.
Sir, you had 3 minutes, sir.
Well, okay. I'll sit through one of these meetings, and in that 3 minutes for one person was like 25 minutes. And that was Mr. Joyce. I see that the bully pulpit seems to register himself and some other person, and y'all put it both together and give him 6 minutes. I know you can finagle anything you want to, but I can tell you something needs to be done other than what we're doing.
Yes, sir.
And the other question is, on my property, is there any other property being rezoned?
Okay, thank you for your time, sir.
Is there any other
Sir,
property
we're
being?
not supposed to discuss. This is your public hearing. This is.
But
your topic.
look, we're all people. What's the matter with telling me? Is it?
There's no answers to this. This is 3 minutes for you to make any comments to the actual council, sir. You already expired your 3 minutes. Thank you for your time, sir.
This is the way the city's going to be run. I think all of you'll have a problem with it.
Thank you for your time, sir. Okay, we'll go ahead and open it up to Daniel Medina. Come on up, sir.
Hi, good evening, everybody. Daniel Medina, 19662 Martin Street. So my concern continues to be, our family's concern continues to be any kind of development that could impact our neighborhoods. We're already stressed as it is with infrastructure, with the roads, with the schools. But more importantly for us is, we moved into this community wanting it to maintain it and keep it small. Any impacts to the rezoning that could put, mobile homes or manufactured homes right up against our property is something that we're obviously concerned about. We'll continue to do that. We'll keep showing up to these meetings to make sure everybody understands how we feel. And of course, we are concerned that, we want to make sure folks have a safe place to live. And we certainly understand that. And we certainly are very accommodating and understand. But it takes a lot of us coming out to these meetings and having these discussions and finding some of these things out, sometimes after the fact, that bothers us. And we want to make sure we stay engaged with that. So, we'll continue talking in this situation, and of course, listening to the zoning commission. But we just want to make sure, go on record, that we continue to push against any kind of development that would negatively impact our property. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. And thank you for the adjustment on the time, too. Okay, Delia Silvas? Come on up, ma'am.
Hi. I apologize. I'm not really prepared for this. I just heard about this today.
Could you state your address?
Yes, it's 20108 Kensington Court.
Okay, thank you.
And again, I apologize for not being prepared, but I just heard of this today, that there's a new plan or development or of rezoning on the other side of Park Place, and I oppose to it.
You oppose it?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate that. Okay, and Carlos Silas.
Afternoon. 20108 Kensington Court,
Thank you.
same thing. I oppose to the rezoning. That we're at, that's why we moved from San Antonio. We moved to a smaller community, to enjoy life. And now we're hearing this, and it's like, so I oppose to it.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Okay, Tammy McDonald, come on up, ma'am.
Hi, I'm Tammy McDonald, 19729 Martin Street. I'm here because I've been coming for 3 years. I want you to go with what the rezoning committee decided, which was to deny the zoning that they're asking for. I want us to think about what will the impact on the community be? Is there a demand for this? There is not. The 3 years that we've been protesting this, there hasn't ever been someone come forward besides the owners that want this and that feel like there is a need for our community to have this. There's so many reasons to deny this, but you look at our schools, you look at our city streets, you look at the impact that this would have, and we're not going to be getting tax dollars from these trailers. They're just going to be paying because they won't own them. They'll own the trailers, but they won't own the land. And so that they're bringing a whole bunch of people in that will affect the schools, and the schools will not get any money from that to support the students that they're bringing in. Not to mention the, transiency people that will come and go. And, I'm worried about the traffic, the water, the city streets. I know he's planning on adding a lane, but that's still not going to help our traffic coming to the school, coming to anywhere around that road. So I'm asking the city council to stay with the zoning committee to deny. Let me see if there's anything else since I have more time. I know he's starting or hoping to start with a phase 1 and phase 2. It's the amount, if we're talking 175 new spaces, the amount of people and trailers, and we're talking, he was saying 10 feet apart. So from here to that door is going to be another trailer. And from my property to 10 feet is going to be a trailer. And we can call it manufactured homes, or we can call it a mobile home. It's still a whole lot of space, to have that many people and that much traffic to that road that's already, a lot of traffic. So thank you.
Thank you, Tim. Appreciate it. Okay. And Cecilia Collins. You yield for him? Okay.
Hi,
I'll
good-
go ahead and I'll just go ahead and do each one individually, okay?
Okay, Cecilia Collins and Kevin Collins, 19627 Benton City Road. Good evening. Thank you all for being elected and hearing from your community. Today, what's before you is whether or not you're going to follow the recommendation, not only of city staff, but also of the Planning and Zoning Commission, to deny the proposed final plat plan for this property. And we are in favor of you denying this plan. We support the city staff. We support the Planning and Zoning Commission. Like Ms. Kane said, we've been here for years sort of advocating about this. I see some familiar faces, some new faces. couple of high level points. There is a lingering issue that doesn't affect your decision tonight, but I just want to bring everybody up to the same level. And that is my family sold this property to Mr. Harris many years ago. And it's not clear whether or not that property, when it was sold, it was SFR1, it was single residence. It's not clear if the Open Meeting Act was followed appropriately when it got rezoned to B2. Not an issue that needs to drive your decision tonight, but something to think about. The second thing is you're going to hear about vested rights. You may have even heard about vested rights already. Vested rights, the person who's trying to develop the property can't do the project that the person wants to do under the current zoning for that property. So they say, well, we've spent money. We have vested rights. And so we want you to give us what the rules of the game were when we bought this property, which I argue they couldn't do anyway, but that's beside the point right now. But under the vested rights, you got to technically follow what those rights were at the time. And what they're telling you is, well, we want vested rights, but it's okay if you let us do manufactured homes instead of mobile homes because, that's more profitable and that's what we want to do. That's not vested rights. And that's why the city staff recommended denial and the Planning and Zoning Commission heard about it, went back, talked about it, came back out and denied it. So that's the vested rights part. After vested rights, let's just talk about this community and the people who've moved to Lytle, who grew up in Lytle and built their homes here and built their lives here. And we're talking about a very dense mobile home park over 30 acres that this group wants to develop. There's no demand for it. There's desire. There's desire to build something and try to make a profit, but there's no demand. No one's ever come in and said, I want more mobile homes, right? So there's no demand for it, but they want to do it. They don't own both lots. The developer owns one of the lots, but he doesn't own the north lot, the lot that shares a fence line with our property. The whole fence line is shared with our property. They don't even own that yet, but they're coming to the city and saying, hey, finalize our entire plat plan for all 30 acres and give us 175 places to put these houses in and these manufactured homes in, because it's about profit. And in your comprehensive plan that the city has, you have, and if you need me to stop me, I can.
Almost there. Just stand by. We'll let it expire just so we can go ahead and just keep it going in the right way. Okay, there we go. So we're going to stop this and we'll start now with you.
And so it was a good place to stop. So Lytle Comprehensive Plan says, hey, let's be cautious about when we put one thing on one piece of property next to another piece of property so Miss Kane doesn't have to look 10 feet away and see a bunch of mobile homes, for example, right? So that's about buffer and it's about density. And that is fully within your purview at some point, in some future date, when they come back to you with this program again and say, do you really need 175? Can you build a real wall, around these properties so you can protect those families that bought single family homes and are raising their families there? When the developer was asked those questions at the Planning and Zoning Commission last Monday, said, oh, we're going to put up a fence. But then when you listen to the detail, it was an open wire fence that they planned to build shrubbery around and hope that the shrubbery grows. That's not something that separates 175 mobile homes from these houses. That's not a real fence, right? This city could make them build a real fence, maintain a real fence. I mean, think about the cost of the water it would take to maintain an adequate sound barrier, an adequate visual barrier for that kind of game fence with just shrubbery built in. So it's all designed from them to make them money. But you're the city of Lytle's city council. And part of it is certainly what the developer wants to do. Part of it is Mr. Harris's interest. His family's been here as long as my family's been here. But also just look and listen to the people. Everyone who lives around it doesn't want it. We've owned that property for 100 years that abuts this new property. We used to own the property that this project's going to go into, and no one wants it, right? It's single family residence. I would love to see the city, some developer come in and say, we want to do 1 acre single family residence homes and maybe put 16 or 25 homes out there. That would be good growth for the city. That would be helpful for the city because that's the kind of density that matters. I can just envision a day if this project were to get approved tonight where I can't turn left coming from 35 to get into my house. I can't, right? The number of cars that would be coming down Benton City Road, even with the extra shared lane, no way I'd be able to turn left. That's not the way the city needs to grow. You're going to have others talk about the impact on the schools, the impact on the water, the impact on the utilities. There's no demand. There's just desire. And your city staff and your zoning commission have already told you, this isn't an appropriate project tonight. You can follow that recommendation tonight. You can deny this project. And if they want to come back again and have a meaningful conversation about fewer plats, better barriers, more trees, more shrubs, then maybe we can have that conversation with them. But that's not what they're asking you. They're saying, let us maximize the space, even on space we don't technically own yet, so we can put 175 homes. And oh, by the way, don't hold us to the technical details under vested rights. Give us a break and let us put in the types of manufactured homes we want, because that makes more profit. Please deny that. Thank you.
Thank you. Rob Killen, come on up, sir.
Good evening, Mayor, council members. My name is Rob Killen. I'm an attorney at the law firm of Killen, Griffin, and Fairmont. Address is 10101 Reunion Place in San Antonio. I'm here on behalf of the developer asking you to approve the plat before you tonight. Some folks who have gotten up and spoken this evening have talked about this as zoning. And if this was a zoning case you're considering, you would have the discretion to approve or disapprove. But we're talking about a final plat. You do not have discretion as to whether you approve it or not. If it meets your code, you have to approve it. There's been a lot of discussion about the merits of the project, whether it's good for the city or whether it's not. That question is not before you, only whether it meets the code. 212 mandates that you approve the preliminary plat. The time you approve the preliminary plat, you determine that it met the code, including the zoning requirements. You can't change the criteria that you use midstream, because that's chapter 245 local government code, which is vested rights, which means the set of standards that starts the project, once you submit that application, stays the same set of standards throughout the project. So you approve the preliminary plat, you said it met our code, and now the same request is before you tonight. So you have to approve it. So appreciate your time.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Thank you for the time, too. And let's see, Missy Hernandez.
Good evening, gentlemen. My name's Missy Hernandez. I live at 20007 Hyde Park. I just consider, what kind of city do you want us to live in? And based on that, I ask that you please listen to the denial that your zoning board and committee gave you. I don't think we want to, we've had growth that is a little on the high side, I think, for what we can handle already, right? And certainly, if we're going to continue growing, we need to be ready to do that with our schools. We need to be ready to do that with our utilities. And we want to do it in a way that we're portraying a city that we want to have, which I don't think is trailer parks up and down the roads. And I that may sound mean, but I think that if that's the city you want, then you can make that decision. I don't think that's what any of us want. And we want to maintain a growth that attracts more dollars into our economy, not fewer. And so my recommendation is that you stick with the zoning committee and deny this.
Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate that. All right, Zach, do we have anybody else?
Yeah, and I believe one resident also wanted to speak, but they didn't sign up. They also, she also gave me a letter earlier today, so if you want to pass that out, that's also from her as well. But we did, just for transparency wise, we did receive a text earlier today. And
This is, okay.
Yes.
Is something that was delivered.
She can still speak, yes. I just know she isn't signed up. So, but let me get through this one real quick since I'm already up here. Let me find it here. So we did receive a text just for full transparency that from someone that was unable to attend the city. They are Beth and Craig Bookout at 20023 Hyde Park. For the record, again, we are not able to attend the city council meeting this evening, but are opposed to any mobile home park being put in the or near the Park Place subdivision. So just full transparency, wanted to make sure that was on the record.
Thank you. And go ahead and come on up, ma'am. And I need you to state your name and your address.
I'm Jean Patton at 15055 Short Street, and I'm going to concede my time to that gentleman over there.
We're on the
Gene
clock,
Patton.
so I'll get going. Are we on the clock already?
Not yet.
Okay.
You said Patton.
Gene Patton.
Gene. Got it. Yep. Okay, let me go ahead and get this started. Stand by. Make sure and go.
I'd be cautious of a lawyer who comes in and tells you your hands are tied. Your hands are not tied. You're the city council of Lytle. Your hands are not tied, right? If some preliminary plot was tentatively approved previously, that doesn't mean that you can't exercise your discretion as city council members and follow the staff's recommendation, follow the planning and zoning commission's recommendation, listen to what your constituents are telling you over and over and over again. This has been a multi-year process, and it's always this way. It's always a room full of people who live around this space who don't want this to happen. They don't want it to happen, right? We have a great mobile home park. It's been here my entire life, and that's good. And there are people who live there, and it provides housing. I don't see other people asking for more mobile homes in our community. So just please don't get caught up in the idea that somebody tells you your hands are tied. Your hands are not tied. You can exercise your discretion and you can deny this final proposed plot plan. It is a proposed plot plan, right? And if it's not, and if your city staff and your planning and zoning commission have spent time looking at this and they're telling you you should deny it, it's not taking advantage of the actual vested rights that the developer is arguing that he has, because he's trying to put in manufactured homes instead of mobile homes, and that's what the alleged vested rights allow, then you can deny that, right? That's your basis for denying it. So please, I urge you, I know you're all thoughtful. Some of you have heard me speak before, but this is not the right project. This is not the right time. We got one person who desires profits. There's no demand. There's just no demand. And the impact that it has on this city, I think, will be problematic. Thank you.
Zach, do we have anybody else? Okay. Can you please state your name and your address?
Deanna Castaño, 19661 Martin Street. So I got married to my husband about 11 years ago. And one thing that we stayed in Lytle, for everybody that knows the Castaño family, is the low crime. The low crime has a lot to do with that we don't have a lot of people in our community. You're going to bring in around 100 mobile homes or more, right? Close to 200, they're saying. You got to think about the crime. And I remember the last time we were here, we were in the community center, and the whole thing was affordable living. So affordable living means lower income. Normally lower income, higher crime. We don't even have enough cops right now, to be completely honest, for how many new homes that we have. On top of it, I can tell you right now, our water on Modern Street, a lot of the times the pressure is low. It took me 10 years, me and my husband being married, him working, me going back to school to become a dental hygienist, to be able to afford my house and to live on Martin Street. Martin Street is a very, very beautiful place. But now you're going to be building mobile homes. There's a reason why it's been denied, and I think we should keep it that way. And that's it.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Jack, anybody else? Okay. Go ahead and stop this. So let's go ahead and show. It is 7:04. We're going to go ahead and close the public comments on item B. And we will go ahead and move on to number 7. And this is with the open session and to take action on the items that were discussed. So the first one that we're going to go ahead and tackle is going to be A, consideration and possible action concerning the ordinance number 24-28, an ordinance of the City of Lytle, Texas, amending section 46.1, definitions of Article 1 in general of Chapter 46, zoning of the Code of Ordinances by adding a definition for data center and amending section 46-355, use regulations of Division 8, 1 Industrial District of Article 5, districts and district regulations of Chapter 46, zoning of the Code of Ordinances by adding data center as an allowable use within the industrial zoning district. Zach?
Mayor and council, as the caption indicates, staff is bringing forward a text amendment to our I industrial zoning district regulations, as well as our definitions found in Chapter 46 of the zoning ordinance. And it is to add a definition for data center and also to add as an allowable use in the industrial zoning district. As you may or may not be aware, there are not anywhere, there is nowhere on the map, currently on the zoning map, where somebody is already zoned industrial. So really by putting this in, it's allowing at some point if somebody wanted to put this use in, that it would give them the ability to come before the Planning and Zoning Commission for a rezoning of their property that would ultimately then come to City Council for their approval. But we are getting some traction with various things, and we think that this is an appropriate way to expand the uses in the industrial zoning district. So.
Yeah, I'd like to ask legal. So when I look up data center, our definition doesn't include, but it also includes computer facilities, server farms, telecommunication facilities, information technology facilities, and computing centers. Should those be included, or is data center something we're adding, and then if someone was to come along in the future and wanting to put in, a farm, a server farm, are we going to have to amend it again? Or
I would
can
say
we include that.
I mean, I don't want to speak for legal, but I would say if it's not outlined in what's allowed in the definition, then we would need to expand that definition at that
So it
time.
would
That
need to
somebody
be
would
amended at some
Is
point.
that fair?
I would just add to that, part of the reason why you would want to put it broad is when you're adding a use, the court is gonna look at that, whatever you call it, it's about like what that use is. So if you're allowing all the things that come with a data center, so computers, a lot of electricity use, probably low traffic, because it's all just data being processed. If something else came along called a different name that fit those same kind of parameters as a data center, you'd have a hard time saying no to it. So you're opening up that zone to include whatever you can call it a data center. But by including everything else, you're going to get it out ahead of that.
You're going to be you're going to isolate too much if you start calling out individuals. Is that what you're saying?
If somebody came and wanted to do something else by a different name, they would have a good argument to say data center covers it.
Okay.
Call it whatever you want.
Okay.
And if they push it, you have a hard time saying, no, we can't add server farm. That's somehow different.
Yeah.
So I think that's.
Okay, yeah, that was my question, because, like I said, there's different names.
Sure.
And they could serve different purposes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the only thing I noticed on there, council, is on the definition, it says data center structure of multiple structures that houses a large grouping of network computer servers typically used by businesses, governments, and organizations for remote storage, processing, and distribution of large amounts of data. So that's in our definition that is included.
That would be what we are asking to be amended to add. And then it also does include, which is very typical with these centers, that you would have an electrical substation or something like that. And so we don't want to restrict the ability to have that on that same property. So, and that's why that definition includes that as well.
Yeah, the only other word that I saw that would be missing out of this would be telecommunications. But there again, like what you're saying, maybe that's just being too selective.
And yeah, this is really about, it's in the industrial, you wouldn't want like retail, There's other uses that deal with computers that aren't industrial, that would have more foot traffic or more.
Warehousing
This is
and
limited to. Operate a bunch of-
Cool. Okay, Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve ordinance number 2428, an ordinance of the City of Lidle, Texas, amending section 46-1, definitions of Article 1 in general of Chapter 46, zoning of the Code of Ordinance by adding a definition for data center and amending section 46-355, use regulations of Division 8, I Industrial District of Article 5, districts and district regulations of Chapter 46 zoning of the Code of Ordinances by adding data center as a allowable use within the industrial zone district.
Got a motion on the floor? Got a second? Okay. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, all yeas, motion carries forward. Appreciate that. All right, now we'll go ahead and move on to B. This is consideration and possible action concerning a final plat of Lido AMHC Mobile Park, Phase 1 and 2, a plot containing 29.804 acres, 16.896 acres, being a portion of that 21.237 acre tract recorded in volume 811, page 794 of the deed records of Atascosa County, Texas, and 12.908 acres, being all of that called 12.934 acres recorded in volume 699, page 170 of the deed records of Atascosa County, Texas, and a J.B. Gottleman survey, number 512, and inclusive of a 0.041 of an acre right-of-way dedication. Zach.
Mayor and council, so obviously this is the action item for the final plat in front of you. Just to add a couple things of note for this particular plat submittal. So they are proposing 175 manufactured home lots. If you notice on the application that was submitted, the 1, 2, 3, fourth line down where it does indicate number of residential lots, they actually scratched that off and specifically called out manufactured home lots. And so the only thing I would like to add is that the Planning and Zoning Commission did recommend denial of this, specifically citing that failure to conform to the comprehensive plan and zoning regulations required by Section 3694 of the City Code of Ordinances. One thing you'll note in the items that were provided for the public hearing is staff has communicated to the owner slash developer of this project that although the engineering portion that is required per our platting requirements, we do believe that there was an issue with zoning as far as the distinction between mobile home and manufactured home and what would be allowed per their original submission on this project. That being said, that's ultimately what P&Z felt was a good enough recommendation to deny, and they specifically called that out in their recommendation.
Zach, did we have any, I know we heard everybody, was there anybody else? Nope.
I don't think so.
Okay. So I just wanted to make sure that if there was anybody else, make sure that we gave them a chance to be able to do that. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and go into executive session. This is going to be to discuss legal options regarding this matter. I would like to enter executive session under Texas Government Code Section 551.071, consultation with the attorney. Can I have a motion for us to enter?
I'll make that motion, Mayor.
Got a motion for us?
I'll second it.
Second? Okay. Right, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, yay. So let's go ahead and go. It's 7:13, going into executive session. Okay, we're good. Okay, Paula, if you can actually show us back at 7:54, no action taken in the back. And I'll go ahead and remind everybody, we are on the item 7B.
We took no action.
Yes, yeah, in the back, so.
Okay. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion. Based upon the final plat application before us, I move to deny the final plat as recommended by Planning and Zoning Commission pursuant to section 36-61 of the city code because the proposed plat does not conform with the city's comprehensive zoning plan and zoning regulations, as the proposed plat is intended to create a manufactured home park, which is not an allowed use in zoning district B2.
Got a motion on the floor. Do I have a second? I'll second. Okay, you got a second? Okay. Any further discussion, council? Any questions? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. And then, actually, let me just go ahead and go down. So I'll just do a roll call in a sense of.
Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
Aye.
And aye. Okay, so all ayes for us to go ahead and deny. Thank you so much, council.
Correct. Could did you cite section 3694? I just wanted to make sure that you,
I cited 36-61.
it should be, yeah. That's the general.
Both of them?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mayor, I'd like to amend my motion
Okay.
To add also section 36-94.
Nine.
Four.
94.
Okay, you amend, we had a second. You amend that, okay? Okay, we have the amendment. Let's just go ahead and go back around again.
Aye.
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 Aye. Okay, all five ayes for denial of the motion. Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you. All right. Yes, sir. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate that. Okay, let's go ahead and move on. And let's go ahead and take a look at C. And this is a consideration and possible action concerning resolution number 24-49, a resolution of City Council of the City of Lytle, Texas, approving the terms. Thank you, sir. Terms and the conditions of the lease agreement by and between the City of Lytle, Texas and Unmanned Vehicle Technologies LLC for the lease of the drone equipment, providing incorporation of preamble and authorizing the mayor to execute any and all documents necessary to effectuate such agreement and providing an effective date.
All right, Mayor and Council, as the data sheet for y'all indicated, Molly reviewed the proposed agreement with Unmanned Vehicle Technologies. The changes were kind of outlined there for you, and we've also, the biggest thing is we included the quote which highlighted the maintenance aspect of the drone. We've now included that in the agreement. The Unmanned Vehicle Technologies LLC agreed to all the changes as well as the addition of that. So we feel like we're pretty covered. Obviously, Molly can provide any other context, since she is the one that did up the changes. But
Questions?
Yeah, can you elaborate on what the maintenance is or what the agreement?
It's my understanding that there's a separate agreement for the maintenance of the drones. That's why it wasn't clear in the lease. There's a separate provision that it's a third party that provides the maintenance.
come on, Chief.
Sorry, Chief.
Since it's leased, it has a warranty through the manufacturer. So is any of that reflected in there? I don't, okay.
It's in the.
Yes.
So as far as any routine maintenance or anything, I'm not
Yeah, because my concern was whether the city would be required to do the maintenance or maintenance was part of the
It would
contract.
be covered under I guess the only maintenance, like you don't really like per se change the oil or nothing, I guess. So I'm trying to think, I'm assuming it would be warrant, just your typical warranty, like on any electronics. Anything we buy has got a warranty with it, and we would be. Yeah, they're going to be responsible.
Yeah,
for-
that's what I wanted clarification, because if you have to do some kind of quality control, some qualifications where you have to go through all your sensors and, do whatever alignments, that it doesn't be done
I would think all
periodically.
that would be covered under the warranty, because they kind of do it as a turnkey. And then all the agencies we've talked to that work through this company, which there's lots of them, none of them have brought up any issues like
Okay, with
that.
that, okay. The other thing that I was asking is the battery. Was there any kind of warranty on that battery if it was to die before the end of the contract?
I was, the understanding I have, I don't know what it says about batteries, is that the batteries are again, because you're leasing it. So if you're leasing it and the batteries are not, that's different than a purchase. If you're leasing it, then, the batteries are part of the operational of it. So I understand, from what I understand, batteries were just, the batteries are going to, as long as you've got it leased, you're going to have batteries for it. Because you're just leasing them. You're
Yeah,
not,
so would that be under their cost or our cost?
no, that would, as far as I understand, it would be under their cost, the batteries.
It says on here, the insurance, good question.
It's a good question. I just don't know.
The insurance shall cover the interests of both the lessor and the lessee out of the condition, delivery, installation, maintenance, and the use and the operation of the equipment. So it's basically saying, I think Matt, if I remember correctly, when he spoke, he said that we would get like multiple batteries.
Sure, they do hot swap, yeah.
So basically, you could do a
Hot swap, but it lands quickly, you change them out. So we're not,
we don't have to be charged.
yeah. And I think that's the issue behind the leasing one instead of purchasing it. If you purchase it, then you're accepting all that responsibility. I mean, but if you're leasing it, normally when you lease something, it's different. Like a copy machine, we lease a copy machine, it's entirely different on the maintenance than if we buy one, for example. So, but again, I haven't heard anyone, the technology for batteries and stuff now has changed so much. I haven't heard, that wasn't any of the issues that were brought up with when we did our, informal asking people, users, what issues they had.
So we'll find out if that time should come.
Well, I mean, I don't even know. I don't even know. We operate such a budget that, I don't even know if 18 months from now, if we have to buy a battery and they say it's not covered, I don't know where that's going to
The thing
be.
I do see on here that we would need to pay is I see the loss of damage.
Yeah,
So
go to
which
Exhibit
makes
A.
sense if you're
Exhibit A has all that's covered, and then I added Exhibit B, which is the actual quote, because that was a little different. So it shows you that it comes with batteries, charging station, 1-year basic care plan. It's got all that in the quote that is now part of the contract. So we get whatever was quoted to us and not what is missing in the contract. It becomes part of it. But yeah, there's a care plan. There's a number of batteries, speakers, memory cards. It's all there. It's just a matter of what entity is going to pay it, right? Because we're leasing it from someone and we may have to get it fixed by some other maintenance person. So
And it has a 2-year, it says 2-year.
Well, that's the contract, it's 2 years, but the care was only 1 year.
right.
The care's 2 years.
Is it 2? So that was, okay,
Yes, it's a 2-year care.
okay.
So it lines up.
Yes. Yeah, that was one of the big changes we made to make sure that it was clear that it is a 2-year lease and not 6 months.
Yeah, that was kind of.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, Mayor, I'd like to make a motion
Okay.
to approve resolution number 2449, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Lytle, Texas, approving the terms and conditions of a lease agreement by and between the City of Lytle, Texas and Unmanned Vehicle Technologies LLC for the lease of a drone equipment, providing for incorporation of preamble, authorizing the mayor to execute any and all documents necessary to effectuate such an agreement, providing an effective date today of November the 25th, 2024.
Okay, got a motion on the floor. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
A second. Thank you. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All
Next
yeas.
thing, I'll make one comment today. We got a call this afternoon, 3 o'clock, for a missing 4-year-old, missing 3-year-old in Olive Line, Los Palomas subdivision.
Hmm.
But we headed out there right away, obviously, time's of the essence, and dispatch also had their drone, but it was in Jordan, so they were sending that guy over here as well right away. Luckily, Anthony got there, the kids had, grandparents taking a nap, the kids had went to another house, nobody was there, they walked across the street, the lady knew him. As Anthony pulled up, he saw the kids there, so fortunately, the children were recovered, but I thought, man, wow, it's kind of odd, this was on the agenda, and here we had this drone issue. So anyway, that was kind of neat, but luckily we didn't need it, but, you know, kids are good. But anyway, thank y'all, appreciate that.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Thank you, council. Let's go ahead and move on to D, consideration of possible action concerning approval of annual citizenship award committee recommendations. Michael.
Okay, so Mayor, the committee has come up with their appointments for 2024. I would like to thank the committee for their time and their devotion to such a cause. And a reminder to the citizens of the city of Lido that it is their nominations that are considered. And if they feel like there should be additional people under the nomination, it's totally up to the city, and we want everybody to please get involved and do their submissions, which have been in the past and should continue to be in the month of October. So with that in mind, I make a motion to approve the Citizenship Award Committee appointments for the 2024 Annual Citizenship Awards as presented. Honorable mention to recognize an individual or group outside the city of Lido. Appointment awarded to Gracie Gallegos. Youth, to recognize an individual 18 or under the city of Lido. An appointment awarded to Carter Clayton. Youth, to recognize an individual 18 or under the city of Lido. Appointment awarded to Calissa Severe. Adult, to recognize an adult 19 or over of the city of Lido. Appointment awarded to Sammy S. Aguinada. Lifetime, to recognize an individual who has demonstrated 10 plus years of cumulative service to the city of Lido. Appointment awarded to Pablo S. Cortez.
Okay, thank you for that motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
We got a second? Okay, any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All yeas. Thank you so much, council. Very well done. The names, here's the deal. I know we're gonna recognize it. We'll work with Paola. We'll get the hardware. We'll do all that stuff. But as we heard these names, I always remember one of my mentors. It's always good when somebody gets recognized and people are smiling and they'll be clapping. I can tell you, just as you were reading the names, you know, we all just became more happy. We know these people. We know
Yes.
what they've done, and they definitely deserve this recognition. So kudos for the committee for getting it just spot on. Best to recognize folks that have been those unsung heroes, and now we get to showcase them. So we look forward to actually taking care of this in December.
Thank you. On behalf of the committee, I think that,
We gotta bring them over.
yes,
Yeah, bring them
they're
over.
invited.
And do that, okay?
And that'll be the next meeting.
It should be the first meeting.
Okay.
Okay. Awesome. All right, let's go ahead and move on to E, consideration and possible action concerning the city of Lido boards and commission vacancies.
Obviously, we set this back on here. I think the mayor might take a listen. He might have some suggestions. So I'll really turn it over to you, Mayor, if you want to jump in.
So I want to make sure that we actually get an opportunity if we have anything that comes up. So we had an open slot in the Manufactured Home Commission on there. We had an open slot in the Zoning Commission, and we had 3 open slots in the Beautification Committee. Okay.
I do want to just a correction real quick on the zoning one. We've had a member that hasn't been showing up, so that's really there's not technically, but we haven't been able to get them.
Meetings after 3.
Correct,
Right?
correct. So and it's been several since I've been here, and they have not. So just wanted to clarify that replacing them.
On that one, I do have a name to see if you all would approve, and that's Ana Carrillo. She lives on Mesquite Street, and she's willing to go ahead and help us out
Yes.
for P&Z. Yes. Miss Tammy McDonald.
What, why are you looking at me that way?
Maybe they can split those
When
two.
is- Huh? Today. Okay, so let's do this. And let's go ahead and table that. Let's
Okay.
go ahead and talk to both of them,
Okay.
and we'll match them up to one or the other.
Okay.
Just make sure. But at least we got those two covered. So if we got two people, I think Anna would also have flexibility. She wants to help, so that's two good people, we can do that. The beautification committee, we have a tentative person that has reached out to Zach, and she's gonna go ahead and find out some more details, but I think she's interested. Then the other thing is I had two people that volunteered. Unfortunately, they live outside the city limits, but they live near the community. So we were looking into that, whether or not there's a possibility.
So it currently is not, it does not allow for outside residents or outside taxpayers or resident. But if that is something that the council would desire to potentially do to spread that, then we could amend that specific committee. You wouldn't have to amend all the committees. Since that one is specifically, there's language in our ordinance for that one specifically. So we could adjust that if that's a desire of council to do. So.
That's the one that we've had the biggest problems with. So if we have folks that are on the outside and they're willing to help and they want to do that, I mean, it's worth us. So we can probably put it on the next agenda, depending,
We
and
could.
see if maybe we can ask the council if you're willing to open that committee up to outside folks, so we can amend it, and then we can also go ahead and get people lined up with that. Okay. Right now,
Can you indicate about how far outside the city they live?
I would assume you could put, Molly, is there any distinction that you know of that?
I mean,
put
the
parameters on
people
that?
they're asking, do you know?
Well, the mayor has talked to
yeah,
them, so I don't know.
Molly, could we, on that one, could we say live within the Lido ISD boundaries?
What is the actual?
It's the Keep Lido Beautiful.
It's just the cleanup.
The cleanups they
What does
turn
it
around.
say?
In the qualifications in the ordinance, it specifically currently calls out Lido resident or Lido taxpayer.
And the reason we put taxpayers, we wanted to allow the business owners that don't live here to actually
So what we're
have
saying is
the opportunity to participate. But we did this for all the committees.
They pay city, school taxes.
Hmm?
They pay our school taxes.
Do they pay city taxes?
No, they're currently outside. So.
Yeah, that's the reason why I was saying within the Lido ISD.
I mean, we'd have to amend the language, which we're saying, but
Once
we,
we amend the language.
yes, yes.
But we're not gonna do it tonight.
We wouldn't do it tonight.
You could just put the Lido city limits or ETJ.
Are they in the ATJ?
But they're not each.
That's the reason why. They're just down the road on 3175,
But they do play Lido school.
They're in the school
tax.
district.
the Lido ISD. Yes.
Yeah, I think that would be the greatest addition.
It's
As long as that person has some type of commitment to the city of Lido.
Bear County, you know, we have Natalia and Bear County, but school in the city limits.
Let's just think about it and let's come back and see. But if we can't come up with a solution, then we really need to pick these
Find
folks,
some people.
because we need to get them ready for the spring. We got stuff and things that we need to do.
Yeah.
So we need to take care of that.
And if you can include the current documents.
Yes.
So where we're at right now, we look like we have two of the commissions that we can get them taken care of, and the next one, the next meeting, and then the other one, depending on the language, we probably will have at least two people in there too. So be able to take care of that. So can I ask for a motion for us to go ahead and table this for the next meeting?
Make a motion to table this until the next,
December 9th? 9th.
Ninth?
Yeah, next Monday's the second.
Got a motion on the floor, please second it. Okay, any further discussion?
Yeah, I don't know if you can mention now or maybe after. Do you know what district Ana Carrillo is in District 2, and Tammy, District 2 as well, right?
The other one? Yeah, but we've had the other ones open for a while. So
The manufactured home one is
manufactured
District
home is
5.
District 5.
And that's the only reason that one, we filled all those, but Charles decided not to fill his because we were coming on board. So, if you know of anybody that would, for that one.
Anna's in yours?
Huh?
Anna's in your district?
I don't know if she is. I
Mesquite
know
Street.
the other one is.
Mesquite Street? Yeah, let's do this way. Yes, but this way.
That's,
Dead ends to like the apartments.
yeah, there should be 2, I would think.
No, she's not in District 2.
Oh, Frankie. Oh, the sister? The hijackers? I don't know if she. I know. Definitely she's done it.
Hold on.
Church fire station taking minutes.
She's in District 1.
Oh, okay.
She's in District 1. Be yours.
That means it'll be what's in there.
Well, I mean, we're for zoning, we're there. It's all messed up.
Well, we're gonna talk to them, remember,
So-
we're gonna talk to them because now we got 2 volunteers.
Yeah.
So we're gonna talk to them and say, hey, which one wants to be in the mobile home commission? These are for people that are moving mobile homes into lots and stuff like that. And then we have a zoning commission. So between the 2 of them, we should be able to fill those.
Yeah.
And then we'll be full up with that. The only one we need a little bit of help with Molly is just gonna be on the beautification committee and what flexibility that we have. But we know for sure that there's one person that is inside the city limits that we can put in that one. But we'll need 2 more.
I've heard Molly wants to serve on the
Ooh, Molly. You.
She's inside city.
Well, that's
She's
right.
inside.
Inside the city limits.
So it's actually,
No.
Yeah, let's
it's
go.
actually
Yeah,
our
the system.
It's 4 and 5 that are missing.
Okay, we can do that.
Yeah, beautification. Copyright.
Let's come back on December 9th.
All of a sudden, all the
Oh,
school
man.
districts, everything is open.
Yeah. She's like, never mind.
Everything is open.
We got strawberries all over the place over here.
Try strawberries.
Okay, so we had a motion, got a second, we discussed it. Okay. Any other discussion? All those in favor for us to table it?
All right.
Any opposed? Okay, table, thank you. Appreciate it. Awesome. Okay, we're getting close in the sense of just taking care of that. So if you have any volunteers for beautification and they're inside your district, please let us know. Okay, department reports. Let's go ahead and have Lynette, Finance Director's report.
Okay, Council Life, it's kind of short, and for the first time I was able to give you pretty much a full financial since probably about 1.5 years. I'm assuming y'all been able to look over it. Do y'all have any questions on anything before I can go through the highlights of it? No? Okay. So ad valorem, that when you see where it says fiscal activity there, that's going to be their month of October, and that's everything that came in. So for the month of October, ad valorem came in at $59,000. Hotel tax came in at the average of $10,000. The franchise tax came in at $3,200. Remember, we get our big quarterlies when it comes to our franchise tax. City sales tax came in at $138,000. So we're doing really well with that. I'm interested to see what the truck stop's going to bring here shortly. The rest of that's all smaller stuff that does come in, except for the fines, in which court brought in right at $52,000. They did decently. Animal control, the adoption fee is a $151. The donations that we've been getting in more donations than normal. He brought in 729, and then just miscellaneous animal care fees that came in at 20. Library donations come in at 892. She had a $13 money-making project, but that is a miscoding. That was copies and stuff that she did over there. So I'll go ahead and reclass that. And then other income, that $13,000 is the money that she got in from the grant. Yes. So the expenses, if y'all want to look through those, if y'all have any questions. I don't, did anybody see anything that y'all had questions about? I don't want to go through every single line item unless y'all want me to.
No, you got 5 minutes.
Well, that is.
So you got 3 minutes left now.
Well, okay. So our bigger hits in the general fund are going to be, of course, our building inspections, which come out to being $17,000 to $20,000 every month. The insurance and stuff is always going to be a big hit. It comes at the beginning of the year. That's when we pay our stuff to TML. There's really nothing really big that is throwing us out of whack. The municipal court fees, which I talked about last time, David had asked me about, those are quarterly that go out. That's that $52,000 that you see at the end. So we're really running kind of exactly where we need to be. Zach and I have been going over this very closely, and today he did give me a sort of kind of a compliment that he felt like he actually knew how much money we were spending these days. As you can see, when you look at it now, it looks completely different because of the way that we have it structured, because everything is under the general fund like it needs to be. But the way that I did label it in there, you'll be able to see that it's PD, court, or parks, or that department. So. Let me jump to Robbie's. Robbie's been doing really good out there. The water tapping fees have come in really high. We're at 120 already. Impact fees, all the acquisition fees and stuff that all come along with the new houses that are coming in. Late service charges and stuff are still a little bit higher than I wanted them to be, but we are having some issues, and we did have to turn some residents off. I'm sure some of you got some phone calls on that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry. I try not to, and we do give them 3 or 4 chances. Liza and Virginia called them, I would say 5 or 6 times before I actually turned somebody off. Okay. Sewer fees are coming in, same, due. New houses coming in, we're at 38,000, 19, and 4,500. We're doing really well with that. The houses are booming. When Paula gives, or not Paula, but when Zach gives his update, you'll see the permits are going absolutely crazy right now. Poor Paula's getting grayer by the day. And all the expenses are right where they need to be when it comes to where we are. We're starting to use bond money and what he'll update in the CIP update. So we're moving right along.
Okay. Go to the next slide.
So we did have a lot of rereads and stuff. We're putting on a lot of new meters. So when you do see Robbie's report, some of those the reads are not 100% correct. We're having some issues, so we're having to send and redo some of the meters. Radio reads, we have 521 out. So we had 512 the last time I reported, and I do want to say over the weekend, Robbie's guys put out about 30 over at Meadow Haven, Rolling Meadows. So the whole goal was to replace all the old meters over there. So the more that we do, the less they have to do out there with the radio reads. I'm in the middle of building the rest of the final matrix on the stormwater utility services. Their first billing is going to go out for January to be billed for February. So that is pretty big. That's a huge undertaking, and making sure all the right numbers get to the right residents on permeable and non-permeable. We've had multiple calls in utilities, and I know Ruben is addressing it, and I'm sure the council have got it for trash pickup. We had probably, I want to say 30 or 40 calls just in the last 2 weeks, stuff with waste management. So that's been another thing the girls have been dealing with. The city now has an excess of about 10 trash cans, and we're able to take some trash cans out to residents so they're not having to wait so long, but we're still having some other issues, and they're trying to keep them up to where we can get them out to them in time because we're running out of trash cans. Financials are due and completed, which y'all have in front of y'all. The new GL reconstruction is completely done, as y'all see on the financials. The end of month and the closing for 2024 is still in progress. I'm working on getting stuff ready for the audit that is going to be here in a couple of weeks. And I'm in the middle of the yearly TML workers' comp payroll insurance audit right now. There's nothing really to report on that. They're still looking at stuff. I've just turned in our volunteer hours so they can review that. And then, like I said, we're scheduled for the on-site audit the second week of January. And that's all I have, unless y'all have any questions.
Do you have or have you had any feedback on the new gas system?
Yes, yes. So Miss Harris, Tracy Harris over there, I talked to her, I want to say it was Friday. She said it's going fine. I try to keep an open line with her. If she needs something, she knows she can call any of us over here. We're here to help her. And I asked her, I want to say it was Thursday or Friday, if she needed anything. And she said, absolutely, everything was good. Now, we do have a lot of residents coming in. I had a couple come in today, pretty mad. Yeah, and we try to explain it. I'm running out of cards for Tracy to send them over there, but we try to tell them where to go. And it's going to be a transition no matter what. We have some people that have been paying that bill for a very long time. And Liza is wonderful with them, trying to explain to them that that's the reason that their bill is reduced, but they do have to go pay over there.
Yes.
And Tracy's working with them. And we actually sent a list of people that she needed and gave them all the updated phone numbers so she could call them directly too.
Thanks for staying up with that.
We're trying.
Thank you.
We're trying.
Yeah. Why can't I pay online? I can't pay on the phone, but I gotta go to the office, right?
Well, they don't have to. So they can set everything up with West Texas, but they just need to go over with Tracy and get the account numbers and all that.
Yeah, but I think they're complaining about doing it through our municipal system.
Yeah, they
Which is
can't do
not
it through
available.
here. But if y'all want to, before you leave, there's some cards over here that in the front. Just take Tracy's card. If any of your residents call, tell her to call them directly and she will take care of them. She's wonderful.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. All right, Paula, or commonly known as Liz. That's what the slice is.
Yeah, I never took it down because that's what she left there, so.
All right, there you go.
So, our collection started for October for the new year. We got $59,000 in there. So we right now, that's all we have in there for now. For the beer and wine license, we have 0 for the October month. I think one came in for November, so we'll have something in November. These were all,
Should be pretty high once the holidays come around.
I think so. I hope so.
So I'm just saying we should do. Yeah, people like to celebrate around
I have
here.
one that came in this month, so
Yeah, they
I have one for
celebrate.
this month. Oh, where did it go? Okay, these are all my meetings that I had for the month of October. We did have National Night Out, had PNC meetings, quite a few of them. We had our senior bingo. I did have meetings with Civic Plus. They're trying to sell us something on open records, which I think it'll help us. But I think at the moment, we just started the new year, so maybe for the next round. And we did have the Halloween event that Lena covered for me while I was out. So I thank her for that because I think it's been pretty good. Other than that, that's all I had for this training and meetings for myself. Activity for October for my open records request was only 2. I fulfilled both of them, and the year to date I have 9. I did publish 3 agendas. 1 minutes were completed. My ordinances were 0, and my resolutions were 4. And this month around, I'm probably gonna have more for this month. So that's all I have for my report. I don't have a lot. I'm still working on all my building permits. We have a lot that are coming in, quite a lot. That takes up all my
So
time.
with the civil plus, is that also with our ordinances? The ones,
Yeah, so the Civic Plus bought out Unicode, so they do technically own that system now as well.
okay, so eventually we'll get that list of the latest and greatest that have been updated. We'll get all that.
Yeah, we can change.
And they
all
do that, I think,
Well, and
twice a year. They upload them twice a year. So
Yes.
they just did the last one, I'm gonna say maybe September, August, September.
Yeah.
So yes.
So we get them, and then we get a chance to send them to our attorneys to go ahead and review, right?
Well, yeah, they review them before
Before.
you even sign them. So, yeah,
Once you sign it, it goes.
yeah.
It goes out.
So they don't need to review them
No.
after?
No, because they've already
Okay,
reviewed
how
those.
they end up
Yeah.
getting uploaded though?
Then they
Because you
just-
know they make tweaks. Unicode, I know it's so, we send it in a certain way and then
I
it
don't,
shows
I
up-
don't send Word. I send PDF.
Yeah.
Okay, good,
So I don't send Word.
okay. Because they need to incorporate it.
We could
Yes,
even
no.
potentially
Put
send,
into the table.
send TIFF. They can't modify by TIFs either, so that might be an option.
Just make, yeah.
Any questions?
So the permitting system is automated.
It is.
It is.
Are customers able to go online and submit
Yes.
permits?
Yes.
Are we
that's-
encouraging,
That's basically, we don't accept anything in person.
so we're trying to pull away from paper?
Correct.
Right.
Good.
Yeah.
We're trying to get,
I would say the only things like when they submitted for this final plat, we wanted physical copies of that kind of stuff. So some of the planning and zoning related stuff we're still getting in person, but
The majority.
building permit wise, it's all online.
Great.
And council, just a reminder, the reason we paid this money so we could do what Liz and Zach are doing is because we want to be able to go and say it's your house, we should be able to see all the different things that we gave you approval. Versus the way it's being kept, you had to go look through every year and try to figure out, okay, did we issue any kind of permit for a particular home? We should easily be able to pull up an address and have all the stuff that we approved. That way it helps our residents already and it helps us to manage.
And we do, because I found one that we had for approval for the home, because it was a brand new home. And then they did a patio, and then they wanted to add something else. But we had one that we found that it was an approval for solar, and it's a new home. But they actually, the owners didn't approve that. And the gentleman that I guess was selling to them actually pulled a permit. It didn't have any documentation there, but she ended up calling them and telling them that she didn't want anything approved. But I'm able to see everything that they're doing. So, yes.
It's a good thing.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate it.
All right. No change, obviously, on this one. As far as the water and sewer projects, I did in October get the TCEQ conditional approval on the elevated storage tanks. That's really the only update there. On the 12-inch main loop, Jesse with DTRG is actively working on the easement documentation to get all that squared away so we can get those to the property owners and get them to dedicate any of those that we need, which will be really the final step. That probably could reflect actually closer to like 90 or 95% because that's really the only step we need. But we can't move forward until we have those in place. So they're working on that.
So based on the timeline, when are we going to be able to?
Yeah, so I had asked Jesse to provide those before, but by the end of the month or beginning of December. So we should have those in hand to be able to get to the residents before the end of the year. And then once we have those, then we can go issue the bids and go out for all that. So, yeah.
We got to have everything done by the fall.
I know. At least that section on McDonald, right? And they're aware of that, and we're pushing as fast and as humanly possible to get that done. So, yeah. The elevated storage, we're waiting on just a meeting with the company that we hired, that council hired for that. So hopefully get started in the beginning of the new year, if not before, at least mobilizing, out on site and everything. So as far as updates on our residential development, so we now have 68 completed out in phase 6, 4 that are under construction in Saddle Ridge. On phase 5, there are 8 completed and 29 of those additional ones are under construction out there. And then really, as you see there, 3 and 4, now that we have the easements in place, they're moving forward on the getting the final plats ready for those. So to go to P&Z and then ultimately for y'all. And then stage or phase 2 obviously is not started, but it's all completed and ready to go for when they are ready. Rosewood, they've slowed down a little bit, but still going. So we have 41 completed out there, 13 under construction. They have submitted phase 2. Obviously, we've approved the preliminary plat, so they're continuing to work on getting the final plat approved on that. No real update on Lido Farms. Site contractors still working out there. I have had some conversations with Clay and Nina, who is the PID attorney for the developer. and getting y'all some more information on the finalization of assessment and all that kind of stuff. So hopefully I'll have that at the next time I present to y'all. So permit data, you can see here the applications received on the left, and on the right, permits that were issued for the month. Obviously, the big one is our homes development out there. The inspections for the month, so a lot of building, a lot of plumbing, but again, most of these are related to the new homes out there. Certificate of occupancies, we had 11 residential and then 1 commercial. Of course, this is October, so that was the new gas station on I-35 there. So at the beginning of October. And then 7 solar panels on the certificate of compliance. So solar, if you go out to a lot of these new home, especially Rosewood, you're seeing those pop up right at the same time the homes are popping up. So it's kind of, yeah, most of them are going solar, or a good chunk of them are. So we're seeing a lot of times where we'll get a permit for a new home, and as soon as we approve that, then next couple days a solar comes in right after that for that same address.
Sold with solar panels.
Yeah. Yeah, so the owner's asking for it to be put, and then ultimately, yeah,
It's an option.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. As far as court, so no real change on the monthly or ongoing activities. Obviously, with the new fiscal year, I wanted to obviously give you the data there, and so you do have for the month of October here. And then obviously the FY total is the same because it's only the 1 month of the fiscal year. But you see there, citations is the first column, which was 190 citations for the month of October. 244 of those were violations on those citations. We disposed of 98 citations and 110 violations. So of those, that's for the month of October, and then we'll continue to show you as we go forward. So, and again, dispose could be settled, it could be, payment plan. I mean, there's many options that all fits under, dismissed, all that stuff. So, as far as contracts, as I highlighted to y'all before, really the only update, we've closed out everything for the most part with the CPS Energy, but we are still pending a billing issue that I kind of highlighted last time. We'll continue to work through that. And then really AT&T is continuing to gather equipment. Frontera is for AT&T as they cancel out everything and fully get that squared away. We have stopped paying the bills that are coming in, so that way we don't have any issues from that standpoint. And so even just today, we had a Frontera representative gathering some of the equipment here at City Hall. So, and police department, yes. So we're getting all that squared away. But other than that, no real update on our contracts that we have. Code compliance, not a huge busy month, but 2 overgrown lots, 2 watering issues or overwatering, and then miscellaneous there. I have to go back and look at what that one was, but I know that Hector has assisted some of Public Works and some of the stuff in identifying some areas where people have used some water or using water. So while he's driving around, he's noticing that and making sure that Public Works, if there's leaks or anything like that, that we're getting notified of any. Meetings on the left, and then just general miscellaneous updates. UWR is still continuing to work out at well 2. The engineering RFQs will be finished by the end of this month and go out, and so we'll see what comes back on that. The wastewater treatment plant cleaning is completed, so both the and I'll get some pictures for y'all sent out, but both the clarifiers are now clean, the contact chamber, and obviously the digester holding tanks that were cleaned previously. So it looks really good out there.
Robbie, you happy? Okay. As long as Robbie's
So,
happy.
And then you can see everything else there. The plugging of well 3, the bids actually will close Wednesday, so we'll open that up and see what we get on the plugging of that. So hopefully it's not too crazy expensive and we can afford that.
So Robbie, don't forget for your next month, we need to get a copy of your checklist, okay? For all the water, what do you do on a daily, monthly, or weekly, monthly, bi-weekly, annual, okay? So the council can see that, especially since we've been spending a lot of money.
Yes, yes. As far as open positions, we still have the full-time library clerk that we're working on getting all that squared away so we can get that posted. The 2 public works positions, and then the permit tech has been reopened. I've had 2 or 3 applications that I'm reviewing and going to call them in probably right after the Thanksgiving holiday and see if one of those work out so that Paula can stop doing permits because she's got other stuff to do. So that's what we got on that, and that's it. Unless there's any questions.
Robbie, out of our map, you took care of the one on McCoy?
Yeah.
Okay. So we can take this one off of it. Here. This one's done. We got McCoy. Did we take care of any of the other ones over here?
We've done some, but we're still waiting on locates.
Okay. So for none of these that are here.
No, we're still waiting on 2790 for the locates.
Okay. So we still have that one.
Yeah,
And the fire hydrants, you're gonna get that after next
Yeah.
week, right?
Live oak, we took care of one, we still got one open.
Yeah, Live Oak, then we got the ones on Wisdom.
Yeah, the one's open.
Wisdom on there. Then we got Oak Street. Then we got the one you said over here. Did we ever find out whether or not there was a leak?
It's a mess, man, it's a big break. It's real small, but we'll take care of it tomorrow.
Okay, so that one is up here too.
Yeah, 67.
Okay. Any other ones we need to add? Okay. So hopefully by the time we have next meeting, we should be able to take care of the fire hydrants and a few of these, right?
Yeah, Cruz will be able to do fire.
That'd be good.
I got most of the material in there.
That'd be good. Be able to take care of that, especially with the water stuff. Council, anything? Nope.
Sir?
Okay. We'll go ahead and move on to item number 9.
No, sir.
Anything you want to share, informational items? Nothing? Paula? Nothing. Richie? Nothing at all? Robbie, anything new? Animal care and control? Nothing? Oh, Cassandra, she's back there. Hey, Cassandra! Nothing? We're good? Okay. Great job. Appreciate it. Nothing?
Nothing, just happy Thanksgiving to everyone.
Appreciate that. Okay.
A question on the night of the hayride. I believe that's the, if it works out like it did last year, or last couple years, they have, band has competition that day. And I know we like the band to be here and play as the trailers go by. Last year, the folks here at City Hall did a wonderful job putting together refreshments for the band. Okay, I just wanted to know if y'all were thinking ahead to that. Good, thank you, because it went very, very well. And
The only thing is if you could try to get a rough number of people so we can let them, because I don't think the whole band comes, right? I think it's a portion of it.
mostly the folks who compete that day get on a bus and drive almost straight here. And so they're tired, they're hungry, and we had them camped out in here between playing opportunities. So yeah, I'll talk to Cheshire and find out about how many they
Number,
expect.
just so we have an idea, so we can get them something.
14th, I believe. Yeah.
Something to snack on and stuff like that.
And while we're on the hayride, so obviously we've been working with our business community, and there's going to be some stuff down at the chamber as well as Southern Ocean Tejas. They're going to have a car show down there. They're working with Bakery Pub and the chamber, and there'll be some activities going on between the two with food trucks and things like that. So as we're really going to highlight, and obviously as the hayride goes through that area, that they'll see, hey, there's something else going on, and hopefully we can kind of push, after the hayride and go down there, spend some money, time, stuff like that. So, but that seems to be working really well. So this will be our first run at that, and
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of activities. I think in the next meeting, we'll cover a little bit more, but there's gonna be some pretty cool stuff that we're doing differently. It'll be good. Thanks, Zach. Okay, so anything else?
No, that's all.
Okay. Marky stepped out. Hey, Robbie. Thank you for the help on 3175. Appreciate it. I know we still got to finish up some stuff. We still have, I just want to say thank you on the 3175, you guys being out there and taking care of it. If you remember, council, they were supposed to be closed up the whole weekend, and they did it overnight. So I got to give credits to TxDOT, the contractors, Public Works.
They ran into a bunch of rock. They're still having trouble with that rock.
Yep.
They're jacking up bridges.
So, but the road got done.
Yeah, the road part
Instead of
got
being
done.
closed
Yeah.
all the way till Monday morning, I mean, by Saturday at what time, Richie? Was it 11, something like that? Right?
Well, they were 8 o'clock in the morning. They were waiting for the asphalt to get it.
Yeah.
Patch it up, and then they were going to be open.
So we were able to open it up the rest of Saturday and all Sunday instead of being closed till Monday. So kudos all the way around to everybody, the contractor, TxDOT, you all, our inspection, AG3. Yeah, that was great. So appreciate that. Reminder to everybody, please pass it along. Trash this week will be picked up on Friday, because of it being a holiday. Please make sure that the trash is out early. Put it out on Thursday night if you don't want to get up too early, but make sure you tell your neighbors to get it out early because they are going to start a little bit earlier. So if they used to put it out at 9 o'clock and it got picked up, the truck might already been gone by that point.